Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for round 3 of the World Championship Racing League here in China. I'm Ben Ragger McConnell, and joining me is the legendary Jamie Amcasa Elder. How are you doing?
I'm not too shabby, man. Yourself?
I am not too shabby indeed. We are here in China. There's the track. You can see it on screen. It's got one of the longest straights on the calendar. You got two beautiful DRS zones. One of the major ones will be the run from turn 13 towards turn 14, as it's such an easy overtaking opportunity there with the fact that you do have all of that slipstream, all of that wing wide open. And if you're on a better tyres as well, which you can see on the screen, there's the strategies. You can easily gain so much pace coming out of the corners as well. Driver standings, Hypers is currently leading after winning both of the first two races, looking strong overall, with Flying Finn, who's done quite well there in second, tied with Martin G for third place. Sven Ernest is there in fourth, and you can see as we go further down, it's down to 14th where we start to get to the 0-point scorers. We got Speedy, i7, Lemon, Astro Boys, and a few other names today. But we are here. It's time for the qualifying, and immediately, Amcasa, what's your top 3 prediction?
Wow, top 3 predictions are probably going to be similar to what we normally expect. Got Hypers here. He's the man to beat so far this season. Martin G as well. Very, very quick. It'd be great to see what he can deliver today. But I think since we're lacking Flying Finn and Sven, all eyes are going to be at Hypers today. I think Martin G will be second. Third place will probably be your boy Zerd.
Yeah, right, me and Zerd. No, I mean, I'm going to change up a little bit anyway. So Hypers, yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be P1. Ultimately, it's not really looking like there's going to be too many people that can challenge him at the moment. He just seems like he's just on unstoppable level sort of pace at the minute. And I know before the season kicked up, I said Zerd is one of the fastest driver I've seen so far in the game. Then we get into the leagues, and his performance just falls apart. I don't know what's happened to him. He has severely started to lack pace throughout.
It's really disappointing to you.
Yeah, honestly it is. And based on that alone, I'm not actually going to put him in the top 3. You know, you got Hypers, you got Nickturn, you got Martin G, sorry, and even to an extent you've got Rick, who can really deliver when it comes to the qualifying pace. It's obviously his race pace and consistency where he seems to lack. So I am going to go with Hypers P1. P2, I agree, is probably going to be Martin G, but I think P3 is going to be at Nickturn today.
Interesting. So only one change in our predictions, which is I like it when we have some things different. I prefer we had all 3 different, but
well, I mean, I think it'd be a bit ballsy for me to go for anything odd. I could go for a completely different prediction, but realistically, I'm going to be wrong. If I was going to go for a completely bold prediction, which would be wrong, I'd be saying something like, I don't know, i7 P1, Return P2, and Lemon P3. I mean, the thing is, I say that like, oh, they're so slow. I'm not saying that at all. Like, they're actually really quite quick drivers, but they're yet to do something spectacular in this game, in this season. I've not seen it yet. I don't think anyone else has, and
I think what it could come down to is tyres.
Yeah.
Look at Astro Boys. He's currently sitting there on softs. He could put in a blistering lap on the softs. Everyone else is going for mediums or hards. He could be one of the few drivers putting a softs, and he'll be at the front because he's just got that extra pace in those soft tyres.
Oh.
I think there's about 0.6 of a second gap between them, and that, I mean, you see it straight there. Look, there's effectively your 0.6 of a second gap, almost immediate. That is pretty much just over 6.55.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Hype is definitely quicker than Astro Boys on similar tyres. So probably a little bit more than 0.6, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I want to talk about my favorite driver at the moment. I know my favorite driver changes quite a lot. It does. My favorite driver... No, it's not that frequent.
Alright, every other day, sorry.
Every other day. My favorite driver at the minute is this guy who's just crossed the line, Martin G. I'm all eyes on this guy. This guy has entered the scene relatively recently, properly, I mean. and he has just been delivering at exceptional pace. And the way that he's been driving overall, if he continues to do this, yeah, I'm not saying he's the fastest in the world. No way. I'm not even going to try and say that because, you've got the likes of Hypers at the minute who's currently out there doing that and loads of others. But he is someone who absolutely has the potential to be up there at the top and continuously contesting for P1 spot. He's just waiting for that opportunity where he can find out what it is that needs to be unlocked. And watch him go for it. And I think I've got high hopes for him here in China.
I'm expecting to see a quick lap from Copy. The Copy and Editurn are doing what they usually do, giving each other little toes down the long straight, and it's helped Copy achieve a relatively decent time. I suspect he's going to be returning favour to Editurn in a moment. But we're starting to have the opening few laps, and say Editurn is on a lap. Ray has done a lap, but invalidated. He looks like he's going again though. He's on the hard, so he's got the tyres to do it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what people do. I mean, you big up Martin G pretty much every other week. And if you're not bigging him up, you're bigging Zerd up or someone else. I think it just shows... Oh, Ray is coming in. Never mind. I think it just shows how close the racing is, that one week someone could be the fastest man on the track, and then it completely flips on its head the next week, and we'll see how that happens. I mean, Rayleigh used to be ridiculously quick back in 2019, and now he's coming to 2019, things are changing, different cars. I think he's probably turned off line or something, as most people do at certain points, and he just had a kick of oversteer there. So he's slowed down a little bit as a result. He used to be sort of just him and Etnito were battling out all the time, weren't they?
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. He's also been putting a lot of focus into his karting career as well, obviously in real life. So he's not really been able to put a hell of a lot of time into the game. I don't think he's turned line off. I think he's still got it on. But it's just because he's been putting so much time into karting and just trying to be quick, doing that in real life, that again, it's really sort of hindered his race pace. But I saw him last week, I think, and this is the first time I've seen him properly that I'm paying attention to him. Hopefully he can impress us. But looking at his lap so far, I think it leaves a lot more to be desired.
Yeah, it's looked a little bit messy, that's to say the least. So far, he's one of the few guys on a lap. I think everyone else seems to have done 2 laps or a cool down and are on another flying lap. So hopefully we'll see some times change. Hypers is quite happy with this time, which, when you look at the gap between him and Zerd, is easy to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
3/10 of a second already, and he's just done 1 lap. And so
we haven't yet done a onboard hot lap. So we've got a few people that are currently doing out laps. Rick is about to start a hot lap. Should we go on board with him and you do the hot lap rundown?
And let's see if he actually goes through first. And he is. So let's watch for Rick. He's just about to finish the lap, actually.
He's just starting.
Yes, he validated. He did Rick stuff. But yes, okay, so turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sort of 1 and 2 sort of corkscrew round beautifully. Great overtaking opportunities through here. A little dip downhill as you go through turn 3. As soon as you get that power down, don't have that back end hang out just a little bit too much there. Through turn 4, a little kink turn 5, not really a turn. And then it's a hard break in turn 6, about 100 metre board. Again, we'll see some overtaking into this corner if someone's feeling a bit ballsy. Can cause a few issues going to there side by side, but come through there through this lovely sweep in turn 7 and then into turn 8. These 2 corners connecting beautifully, and we have seen it last year, some overtaking through this corner. Hopefully we'll see some more of that, because it creates such beautiful racing side by side at high speed. Exit through turn 10, power down, running a little bit wide there, not too good. He's backed out of it. We'll stay on board with him because I like to point out this is turn 11, the DRS detection line. You'll see it just coming up just there. So that's for the back straight, and turns 12 and 13 sort of linked together in just an ever opening long right hander, and then down the back straight DRS opens about a third of the way along there.
Yep. Rick sadly doing Rick things as normal.
Yep.
Balled it as well. Not good at all. Brownie though, he's currently on a flyer as well. Oh no, he's coming into the pits. That's over and done with.
Again, or he's just
preparing
had enough to drive very slowly.
Astro Boys is about to... Is he already on the hot... Yeah, he's already on a hot lap. He's actually going down the back straight, and it's looking pretty quick. If he can get through... Oh, that's not good. Yeah,
Hyper's going
Hypers.
up to the line on his. Minor improvement of 2/10, so not too bad. Just shows the track's starting to evolve with 8 minutes left of the session.
Yep, it really is. So Copy actually up in P3 is really quite the surprise, to be honest. Yeah, we're all on hards, and we're still going to go out again and change things up a little bit. It does kind of suggest how good Toe is on this track. We know that Slipstream is a huge factor for it, and these guys, Nicton and Copy, are very well known for being solid teammates when it comes to the Toe. They've rehearsed this on a number of occasions, on a number of different tracks. And it pays off for them. Copy, not usually someone you can look at in qualifying pace to be able to be up there in the top 3. Currently sat P3. It's P2 if you look at just the hard compounds alone, and that in itself is a real achievement.
Yeah, absolutely, and it could just be the fact he's put in a few laps. The track's evolved a little bit, and other people haven't put that extra lap in as late as he has. But we'll soon see. Anytime Brownie got mediums on along with Ray. Not out of the pits just yet. They just got them on for now, and they should be coming out. There's probably 2 runs. They're coming out around nowish. Get 1 run in, get back in, and then do the calm before the storm. Come out with about 2 minutes left on the clock. On board at the moment with Grizu coming up to the final few corners. Down there in 12th.
He's a 10th up. He's a 10th up, almost 2 tenths. It's going to be an improvement, and he's going to end the pits.
That's not.
A 1:35.347 was his previous best lap on these tyres. Kind of want to see him. What was that? Sorry?
Rick finally put in times, P5.
Hey, 1:32.556. He's actually really marginally ahead of Zerd, actually. 1:32.569. And even then, he's only slightly behind Rayner, but it just shows. Let's have a look at gap to leader. So P2 is 4 tenths off of P1, bearing in mind that Hypers did it on hards and Astroboys did it on softs. Copy has done it on hards as well, and he's currently 3 tenths off of Hypers. And then that's when things start to get really close-knit. Rayner is literally just under a 10th behind Copy. Rick is, like I said, about a 10th and a half behind Rayner. 100th of a second behind is Zerd. And then 300ths of a second is I7. And then 500ths of a second is Martin G. And even then, it's still close with Nicta, close with Brownie, close with Bird. It just keeps going. It's only when you get to Grissu that's when you start to see a problem. I think we're going to be in for a pretty intense mid-battle race today.
Well, let's hope so. Bird is coming out of the pits. He's on the soft tyres. Just over 5 minutes left of the session. Astro Boys is already out there. He's about to start a flying lap on said softs. So he's going to hope, really hope to get a 1:30, I would have thought, with these softs. Just lay down a huge marker. I don't know if it's going to be possible. Obviously, he did his lap right at the beginning of the qualifying. If he puts in a lap towards the end, he might. I don't think he's going to get shaved half a second, but he might get a good couple of tenths, if not 3 tenths. But we'll soon see.
Yeah.
Copy's coming out on mediums, which means N-Turn will be coming out soon with mediums to give him the lovely little toe. As I say, Bird is out and Astro's on the flyer.
Yeah, Astro Boys, I think he's done himself a problem here, and I think Bird's about to do the same thing. We are at the calm before the storm, as majority of the drivers are in the pit, so these drivers do have the opportunity to change their strategy should they want to do that. Personally, I think they're making a massive mistake to go out on the softs. The softs will absolutely fall apart so quickly on this track. 7 laps maximum, and that's on a normal situation. That's not after doing a hot lap. If you do a hot lap, you are really going to be in trouble. So 5-6 laps in, you're going to really need to get in the pits, change over to some hards maybe, and go again. But these drivers that have gone for the mediums, they know the strategy is the one-stop. Doing the mediums to the hards or the hards to the mediums, whichever you can do. You absolutely cannot afford to go on these softs, and I think we're about to see exactly why. Yeah, they're quick for the 1 lap, but as we see Astro Boys coming around the final corner.
It's going to be a 1:30 something, unless he just invalidated.
I know he didn't.
Right.
So 1:30.851 is the current pole sitting time, but I feel like we can't really celebrate it.
Well, Bird is still going to come out, and
He's come back in.
a few others still in the pits. Well, maybe he didn't fancy those. He's just getting himself prepared for qualifying after the race.
Do you reckon Bird heard me?
Well, you know what the word is.
The Bird is the word. Yep, he heard me. There you go. He knows the softs are not the right thing to do. They will fall apart. It's absolutely right. There is no reason to go out on the softs. You're just going to lose so much time. The thing is, if you go on the mediums, anybody who does go on the softs, you're pretty much guaranteed to gain a place on them. As long as you don't destroy your tires on your whilst you're on your stint, there's no reason that you won't gain that place. The softs won't last very long at all, and anybody who tries the one stop from softs to hards, well, first of all, good luck to you. Second of all, your tyres are going to be so rough about 5-6 laps towards the end. Yeah.
We will see a one-stop hard to soft, though. Someone starting outside the top 10 will go deep. I'm looking at Brownie here, because he's the type of person in this grid that will go for that. And I think, haven't you gone for that as well in one of your races?
Yes, yeah, I did. And I was under the influence of a beaker, as you can imagine. Yeah, he gave me that sort of... He gave me the pressure to do it. I did it. I did pull it off, and I did get a relatively good position, but mainly because other people made mistakes and crashed out. Copy again, though, gets a tow and goes P2 on the mediums. 131.624, which is obviously ahead of Hyper's now. But if you look at the best times, that was Hyper's time was done on the hards, Copy's time was done on the mediums, and he got a tow from his teammates. So I think we're about to see Copy drop a few places as Hyper's, Reina, Rick, and Zerd will probably all jump him. Maybe even I7 and MyG.
So he's coming down the back straight at this precise moment in time. So we should see this. Hopefully, this is going to be a jump from Zerd. He's very much off the pace of the Copy, 0.9 of a second. And this is going to be it. It's this lap, and if he wants to keep going, then he'll have another lap. But you're not.
There it is.
He's got P2 as best.
Yep. Good stuff there from Zerd. Pretty sure he's not going to commit again now, because like I said, if you're going to... Yeah, well, I mean, even if he could be going for a reset. Although I haven't said that, no, he's not got enough time. So yeah, that's it. Done. So Zerd is out. 131.324. Currently sat P2, but realistically it's net P1 if you think about it, tyre strategy-wise. MyG coming around the second to last now, just coming up to the final.
Brownie P5. Just jumped up there.
And the MyG, 0.004 of a second improved against his teammate. So MyG currently sat up there in P2. Where's Hypers at the minute? He's actually quite early on in the track. Yeah, where's that Nickton?
And turn one corner to go now. Someone in front of him. I believe that's Rick. Could be wrong. Rick P5. Enter P4.
Oh, that's interesting. Ennington got the tow from his teammate again. And it was quite a good tow looking at how close they were going through the hairpin. Nickton only sitting P4 shows a sign of weakness to me. If he had all that extra time from the tow and he still only sits there, that suggests that he's really struggling in the first two sectors. He's not really able to gain much more when he comes in the third. So interesting. Here comes Bird as well. Down the back, he's 0.8 up, which is great stuff, but it will put him exactly where he is right now. It's not currently enough. Oh, that was close. I thought he was going to die. Yep. It was indeed.
I'm sure these guys know what they're doing, but they do it, and it looks scary. Hypers is the next man to come across the line, come around the final corner in a second. We're expecting this to be P2, aren't we?
Maybe even P1, but it'll have to be insane. It's not. It's a 131.137. Still a solid P2 ahead of MyG and Zerd. And Nickton really let me down today.
Yeah, got Greiser, the only man on track, is up by 1.4 seconds, but considering his previous lap was 135, this could be anywhere in all fairness. This could be near the top, this could end up right down the bottom. Well, not right down the bottom, but barely moving. We're about to find out. But I'm quite happy with that. I got 2, 3, 4 in that correct order. I just didn't expect Astro Boys to actually run with the soft.
I was almost right. I got 2 and 3, almost had the right one, and just like Nickton just didn't quite give me what I needed. Here comes Gressu there across the line. Is he going to jump up a plate? Oh, he's backed out. I think he was of the opinion he was going to get in the top 10 with that time, and I think he's decided I don't want to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, to be fair, the difference between my prediction and your prediction was 0.006 of a second.
Yeah. We got it pretty close.
Let's say it's a tie, shall we?
And I think realistically, you take the tyre strategies out of it and look at it, what the realistic tyre strategy is. You got it 100%.
Well, I mean, Martin G and Zerd are only 4,000s. Zerd and Ecton 6,000. Then there's a bit of gap starting to form, but those 3 and 3, 4, 5 are so close, and there's a hundredth between those 3 drivers.
Yeah,
that is going to create some lovely racing. Hypers is probably going to run away with it, but these guys should be batting for a podium. That's going to be really interesting. Just trying to watch them go 3 wide, round corners and stuff.
yeah, and their teammates as well. I wouldn't say necessarily that team orders are going to play a factor in it, but they're obviously going to be very mindful of the fact that they need to do well in the constructors. But here is the rundown after the qualifying session has ended. So Astro Boys is the fastest overall with a 130.851 on the soft compound tyre. Everyone else in the top 10 did it on the mediums. You got Hypers in second, Martin G in third, Zerd fourth, and Nick Turn fifth, Copy sixth, i7 in seventh, Rick in 8th, Rainer in 9th. Lemon is the final spot in the top 10, with Bird being best of the rest. Brownie shortly followed, Return, Gressu, and down in dead last is Ray, who looked like he couldn't do anything more than just bank collapse.
Yeah, but unfortunate for Ray. Hopefully he will deliver something in the race.
He has to. He has to.
Well,
he can't afford to not.
Well, he might go for something crazy like hard to soft. I want to see someone do it. It's crazy.
It is, and he won't gain anything from doing it. That's the thing. You even if you go hards to softs, right? You'll be you're on the fastest tire, and you've got so much little weight in your car because you got very little fuel in there. But you're still going to destroy the tires just as much as if you have a lot of fuel in there, purely because of how much grip you're going to be using on those tires. Going for the mediums anyway means they go a lot further, and if you actually look, the mediums and the hards are only about 4 or 5 laps difference in terms of their lifespan, and so mediums giving you that extra bit of time, because they do give you quite a considerable amount of time gained. I think ultimately you have to go hards to mediums, and that's it.
Well, let's have a look, see what people are starting on then. 2 people outside the top 10, and one of them is Brownie. Brownie's doing hards to softs.
Yeah,
I mean, unofficially confirm that.
Yeah, absolutely. You called it in the qualifying before he even did his final lap. So I think you've nailed the hammer right on the head there, and I think that's perfect. I agree with you. I think Brownie will absolutely go for that strategy. The thing is, though, he is a wizard when it comes to tyre management. He's really good at looking after the tyres and making sure that they make it to the point where he needs to, which is why he can pull off these crazy strategies. But they don't always work out for him. He finds himself losing a lot of pace, especially when he comes to the end of his first stint. Whatever stint he tries on the first stint, he's always super slow. And he just can't keep the consistent lap times in because he's driving so conservative to keep the tyres alive.
Well, all he's got to do is hang on the back of Bird. Stay within that DRS. Don't let anyone past you. And as long as you're matching pace with Bird for the first, let's say, 6, 7 laps, to the start point where those mediums start to fall off a little bit, then when they start to fall off, get past them. Just stay with them through the opening few phases. I'd like to say the same to Hypers, but Hypers will probably get past Astro Boys before turn 4, sorry. So Astro Boys' only real hope is to absolutely nail the start and get away.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's got it in him. Yes,
Nope.
Okay, he's not a slow driver by any means, but Hypers is, as his name is, Hyper. He's that quick, he'll just hunt him down and take him.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to think about is not just Hypers, but the drivers behind him. They're all seriously fast drivers, and they will easily shut him down so quickly. Do you know what I mean? He's got until lap 3 to really make it enough of a gap, at least to break the 1 second margin. And I think on lap 1, he probably will do that, providing he gets a good start off. But, lap 2 and 3, that's where you're going to see him get caught up. And I think it's just going to be the end of his soft run. He's just going to fall behind as a result of it. But we're about to see now, as all of the cars are getting into the grid box. Here we go. The lights are about to come on screen. And when we see all 5 lights disappear, it's going to be go time here in China for round 3 of the World Championship Racing League. And off we go. Immediately we see an Astro Boys get off to a really good solid start. A little bit of wheel spin there from a few of the other cars further backfield. But here's Astro Boys having a good defensive a little bit, just trying to protect himself from Hypers. So far so good. Nothing too tragic overall. And everything seems to be okay. Hypers is trying to get around. He can't make it yet. It's going to stay as it is. Well, a little bit of side-to-side action here between Nickton and Zerd. Nickton is actually ahead here. This is great news if you're a McLaren fan, because Nickton really pushing himself, and he's already lining him up to try and defend against him. Big contact between the two Saubers. That was not good at all.
I was looking behind. Rick trying to make moves on Copy. I7, sorry, made the move, but then went into the side of Copy. Copy got away with it, or should I say Rick got away with it, not taking Copy out. It was so close to spinning the McLaren, and it looks like, oh.
Yeah,
well,
Rick's having issues.
Lag, yeah. That's not going to help him. He's going to be driven through by Burn in a moment. He's not careful.
Oh, big mistake!
Rick!
Big crash there from Rick. He just completely got caught out, and now he's just getting hit by many other drivers as well. Return is actually stuck in the side of him. He currently can't move. Ray trying to get around them here. Big damage on Return's car. There's also a massive collision between Rick and I7. I7 got sent off the track quite severely. He's currently still off it, trying to get back on it, and you can see I7 is retired. He's not a happy bunny after that one. I understand his frustration. No, not even slightly. Rick has already left. Just straight up gone.
Not surprising. Rick made a huge mistake there. I'm not even sure what was going through his mind. He was a day late and $1 short on the brakes there, and he just went straight into I7.
Oh, here comes Hypers. Hypers is going around the outside. Oh, Astro Boy's in turn 1, sorry, and he's doing it. He's actually managed to secure it, and this kind of shows. Rain has lost control as well. He's actually retired from the session. And we're seeing some pit lanes light up a fair bit there. Ray getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Already, Astro Boys is starting to lose places.
Yeah, more times returns DNF as well. I think this might be all in the pit lanes. People are just fed up. They don't want to lose their wing on the first corner, on the first lap. Astro Boys is coming under pressure from ING. I'm on board with Zerd right behind us. Oh, Astro's just got offline a little bit, and he comes back on right in front then of Zerd. That's not good news for Zerd. I thought he might have had a chance there. Ray's left the session as well. Was that a wing? It looked like a bird. But, more people DNFing. And who's the host of this lobby?
Zerd.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on Zerd then, because obviously people leaving lobby can really lag out the lobby host, and hopefully we won't have that today.
Well, especially
a great fight.
Yeah, I mean, look at it right here. He's actually attacking and defending from both of the McLarens as well behind him. This could very easily turn south here. We're still on lap 2, so there's no DRS available, as Astro Boys is going to lose another place. Zerd slipstreaming all the way down the back straight, nowhere else for him to go. We've also got Ed Nickton, who's coming down the inside of both cars. We're going 3 wide into the hairpin. A little bit of contact between Zerd and Ed Nickton there, but somehow Ed Nickton has managed to get through there, but he's back into where he was before. How has Astro Boys managed to hold on here? I think he's now not, as Zerd is right on the back of him here. This is about to get messy.
About to go 3 wide round turn 1. This does not work very well. And Enderton has just backed off a little bit, knowing that I want to be part of this, but I want to finish this race, unlike the other 3 drivers. Just backs off and sits in behind Zerd for now, and basically says to Zerd, look, take him, or I'm going to take you. You decide.
Exactly.
Copy's sitting there going, well, you decide, because I want some of it as well. And he's got lemon all over the back of him. Zerd, and it... Oh, a little bit of contact there. Astro Boys on 8th turn. Nothing of it in the end, but I think that's just a sign that Astro Boys has just pushed really hard on his tyres, and he's just starting to slide a little bit already. And we're only on the lap 3, but could he have cooked his tyres already?
Oh, 100%. This is what I'm saying. The softs disintegrate so much. I mean, I tried to say earlier, but just how bad it is, and now you're visibly seeing it. Astro Boys is having a nightmare of a race. On paper, he should be flying. On these softs, he should be the fastest driver on track by miles, and he's just not. He's struggling. That was before DRS. Now, everyone behind him has DRS. He'll have it as well, but he has a lot less slipstream to work with.
Yeah, he's going... Oh, it's going to be close between him and Editon. I think Editon might take him here. Astro goes defensive. Editon just going to slide around the outside then. Astro is still trying to hold on. Editon's gone really deep into the corner. Astro Boys is going to take that back off him. Editon's going to be on the inside though for the last corner. And he backs off, just lets Astro Boys through. Astro Boys misses the apex. Editon gets the drive off the corner that he's after. And Astro Boys still somehow has DRS, but he's about to lose 2 places here to both McLarens. This could end in tears.
It really
Not
could. Astro
quite.
Boys is doing well to defend at the minute with that Nick 10 still trying to go around the outside. Copy's on the inside of this battle as well. It's not going to quite work out for him as that Nick 10 has managed to just slot back in exactly where he is. These two McLarens are so eager to get past this Red Bull. Astro Boys is not doing a bad job of defending it, but he's also not doing a very good job of keeping up with the car in front. Zerd is only just slightly ahead, but you can see how hard Astro Boys is fighting that car to just keep himself pointing in the right direction. Give it 2 or 3 more laps of this, and I think Astro Boys may have to take a very early pit stop.
Well, the saving grace for him is that the 3 guys in the back have also pitted, so he'll come out in P10, assuming he doesn't have any incidents. So, good news for them on that front. So you could still be getting some points here today after the incidents at turn 11 on the first lap with Rick and i7 and 6 other drivers.
This now is the most crucial part here for Nickturn and Astro Boys. Copy's a little bit too far back now. Oh, he's ran really wide there. Now he's going to be in trouble as Reynolds is going to be behind. Lemon, sorry, is going to be right behind him. Nickturn is going to be slipstreaming right down the back straight here. And Astro Boys is going to be a sitting duck. He's going to have to filter in behind. Not really an opportunity for him to go for a dive down the inside, but it does have an opportunity to keep the gap pretty marginal between the two of them, come back at him as we get onto the home straight with the new DRS, which Nickturn won't have any of.
Yeah, Astro Boys will have a chance to stay ahead of Copy. Copy is going to have better slipstream than Astro Boys, but Astro Boys does have that DRS to keep himself ahead of Copy, so good news for him.
Yeah, Copy's done well.
Lemon's closing in on this, and so is Brownie. Brownie's now just got into the 1 second window. He's on the hards, don't forget, and he's definitely going for softs. I can tell you that. I've not heard from him. There's just one thing, other than the fact he's on hard time.
Oh, Copy's going for a lunge on Astro Boys. Big dive down the inside. He's managed to get through. There's a little bit of contact, but it was wheel to wheel. Nothing more than that, and Copy's now up to P5. So Astro Boys started the race P1, loses 5 places down there in P6, immediately has Lemon on the back of him already. Does have slipstreams again and DRS again from Copy when we get back into the next home straight, but it's all about the exit of that corner. And I think Astro Boys is in trouble. I give it 2 more laps and he's in.
I think he'll be coming in the end of next lap. So this bit and 1.
Yeah.
But quickly back to Brownie. The one thing that is giving it away that he's going on to softs is that little yellow icon in the bottom right-hand corner of his screen. The fuel warning lights. It means he's under fuel, which means he's going to have less wear on these tyres. And it's going to allow him to do crazy ass strategies that he's going to go for. Astro Boy's holding off Lemon as expected. What we're having slipstream and DRS. Lead up front, those 2.5 seconds for Hypers. That's getting quite sizable already.
6 laps in, already 2.5 seconds. Hyper's really showing his dominance right now. And the 2 Alfa Romeos have been separated by 2 seconds as well. So it's not like they're sort of like just making mistakes. They are driving pretty hard. They're just not able to capitalize on it. I think Zerd got stuck behind Astro Boys a little bit longer than he necessarily wanted to be. And that's why that gap has built up to where it is. It's slowly sort of teetering down a little bit in favor of Zerd, but as it stands, I don't think that's going to be changing, at least for the next few laps. And ultimately, I think if they're going to double stack, which they have the opportunity to do, I think that 2 seconds there might be what they need to do in order to get it to kick off, as Lemon is closing in on Astro Boys.
Yeah, I think the double stacking gap is about 5 seconds in this game.
Oh,
he's going for it there. That was a switch and a half. I think he's just trying to put Astro Boys off at this point. Astro Boys' green pit window light is on, which means he is in the pit window. It doesn't mean he's coming in this lap. It could mean he comes in 5 laps. It means he could come in this lap. It varies.
Yeah.
Just means that his strategy-wise says he's coming in the next lap. So.
I think he's told his Jeff, or his Jeff has suggested a new strategy. I'm pretty sure that's what's happened here, as Lemon is now trying to fight alongside Astro Boys. Astro Boys tried to just force him back over to the inside. Lemon is going to repay the favour. There's a bit of a lock-up there between the two. There was definitely contact there. It's nothing more than Astro Boys, I think, in that respect. Lemon did, come back across him, but he had absolutely every right to. He's, in front still. It's not like he made anything more than just that one mistake. Astro Boys is staying out. I think he's going to be coming in at the end of this lap, which would make the only prediction I've made so far correct. Brownie, though, on the back of him.
Yeah, that would be me wrong then, wasn't it? I thought he was coming in this lap, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, that's so tight. That's so tight between the two of them there. I thought that was going to be a little bit more than that. I thought it was going to be a pit maneuver between the two of them, but it just shows how fast those softs have fallen apart. With the hards of Brownie being right here along the side of him. Now it's going to be a tight one coming through the out wheel to wheel. It is going to be Astro Boys just a bit off the track, but Brownie makes very quick work of Astro Boys where a lot of the other drivers couldn't do it.
Yeah, Brownie gave him plenty of space on the outside. He knew that he didn't really need to fight Astro Boys. He could just wait a corner or two and take him quite easily. So it was sort of a gentleman maneuver, shall we say. He didn't need to push him. He just took his time. There was no struggle to pass him, in all fairness. Nothing against Astro Boys, but his tyres are shot.
Yeah.
And the only real gap is now Copy and Entturn.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really... Honestly, I think these two would be very much talking to each other and saying, look, stay in my slipstream. I'll try and pull you up towards Zerd, and we'll try and do something about it. Oh, big look up there from Copy that will not help you at all. I think he's now going to be... Yep, there you go. He's now outside the 1 second window. So everything that Nickturn just tried to do there for Copy has now just been falling apart. He's not able to help bring his teammate back into this. And Nickturn is doing enough to keep himself just in eyesight of Zerd.
Supposed to stay out. Is
he making a mistake. He is. He's making a mistake. At this point, when you... Yeah, look his back end. Look how hard he's fighting that back end. His back end stepped out so hard, trying to just get as much grip as possible. No, he's making an already bad situation even worse. What you need to do in this situation is just acknowledge, okay, look, I made a mistake. I made the wrong decision here. Stop trying to commit to it. Pit, get on the mediums, push them as far as you can. And who knows, you might be able to push the mediums pretty far and go into another set of softs if you really want to try and make your strategy absolutely work. Even then, I think that's a mistake, because you're not necessarily going to be able to gain too much when you switch back to the softs, as you've seen at the start of this race. You just go softs, mediums, and get it over with, do your two-stop it. You should still end up in the points if you do it right. But right now, what he's doing is going to kill him.
I think from now on, he can come in, put hards on, and get to the end of the race. I think they will do those 20 laps. 19 by the time he gets there. As long as he doesn't overdrive, sorry to use your favourite expression, he should be able to manage those tyres to the end. He'll come out with a bit of space,
he's gone.
I suspect.
He's gone. Big mistake on the exit. He's still alive, but he made a big mistake on the exit there of turn 13. And this is absolutely going to be him coming into the pits now. There was no puncture. It was purely, he just got a little bit heavy and there's no grip in the rears and he lost it. You could see the immediate sort of response that he was going to have more mistakes as he comes, when he's going through turn 1. You could see how hard he was going to be struggling with the rears. And you can see even there, just on the acceleration, his just back end is twitching non-stop. And yet finally we see him coming into the pits. This is a sad story.
Well, he'll come out in air. That's the only thing going for him at this point. He'll come out between Rick and Bird. But with a lot of Rick's DC as well, don't forget. So he will be the last man. But he'll have so much air, he can just take his time on these tyres. He'll get these tyres to the end. How they'll be at the end, I don't know. We'll find out. Well, but he's pretty much guaranteed points unless he crashes.
He is.
To finish the race.
He is. And it's a shame. It's a real shame because he had everything. He had the drive, he had the pace, he was lacking confidence in himself, which is why he went for that crazy strategy in the first place. It doesn't work. Now, the only other thing I want to keep an eye out, because realistically, Astro Boys is battling with Brownie, if you think about it. As Brownie is also going to be, from what we know of Brownie, we don't have 100% confirmation he's definitely going to do this, but we can pretty much guarantee you he's going to do it. He's going to go hards to softs. Brownie will be in a better scenario than Astro Boys, as the softs will be better favoured when Brownie does have less fuel in the car. But again, they're going to fall apart too quickly. He will be able to extend them to about 7 or 8 laps, and Brownie will do that, but his pace will be so slow in comparison. And I think when Astro Boys does realise what he can do, he might get in that place in Brownie. Overall, it's just going to stay the same. Someone who has caught up, though, is Copy. Look at that.
I was actually going to talk about Zerd. 1.1 off the back of Martin G, who's falling back from hypers. These medium tyres are starting to go a little bit funny, and Zerd's obviously got a bit more life left in them. I don't think Astros is really fighting Brownie. You would have been if Astros hadn't had the spin. I reckon they could have been close, but I think Astros has just ruined any chance he had with that spin. He lost, I think it was something like 12 seconds.
Yep.
So it really, really hurt him.
Now,
but Zerd is actually going to get DRS on Martin G here, I think.
I think is he just outside of it? Yeah, still just outside of it. He will get the slipstream though, so he should easily bring it together as we come down towards the home straight. So good, good news for Zerd. He's going to be in a position to be able to attack soon enough. Not this lap, maybe not even next lap, but he'll be able to start lining him up at the end of the next lap, which is ideal, really.
The undercut. He might go for that undercut.
Yeah.
He does realise that Enderturn is only less than 2 seconds off the back end, so he had to up the pace a little bit just to keep away from Enderturn. But 1.2 isn't the biggest gap. Mind you, I think should be a little bit concerned that he's dropping back off Hypers. 5 seconds back now after only 11 laps. Well, 10 laps finished. So mind you, he needs to up the pace. Because at the moment he's affecting Zerd's race a little bit by just giving some dirty air.
Well, yeah, you say that. Zerd had the opportunity to not do what he's doing. He was sitting about 2 seconds away from Martin G. Obviously, wanted to close up and try and do something about it. And if he was racing someone else on the track, then, you would say that he's doing well, he's catching up and everything, now Martin G's in trouble. It's only because it's the teammates that you think, he's holding back, he's hindering him, whatever. No, I wouldn't even say that in the slightest. I actually think Martin G is doing a much better job overall of conserving his tyres. If you keep an eye on these lines throughout the track, he's actually doing a pretty solid job of tyre management. It isn't working too well, though, in his race pace, although he's only marginally slower than Zerd. But now he's unlocked Zerd. I believe now Zerd has got DRS as we come up towards it. Does he? No.
No. But Zerd is now in this pit window. He's got the green icon, the green spanner, which means he could be coming in shortly. Again, as I said earlier, it doesn't mean he's necessarily coming in this lap or the next few laps. With Astro Boys, that turned off. Then he came in. It's just when they've set it up on the screens as Martin G comes in. Now Zerd needs to go for the overcut.
Oh, and Nick turns in as well. So this is interesting now. And Nick turns trying to do the undercut on Zerd. Martin G is trying to protect himself by pitting earlier than Zerd. So imagine Zerd will be coming in. This lap thing to keep an eye out on is the ERS levels for Zerd. Is he going to commit by going for a mode 3 throughout the majority of the track? Looking at it right now, he's 44% and he's on mode 0. Oh, he's gone for a mode 5. Yeah, he's committed.
Yeah, he's pushed it. He knows Enderturn is in a great place to undercut, but at the same time, if he gets a great lap here, he could get past Martin G. The overlap doesn't really work too well. Or the overcut, sorry. The undercut is so strong. But it's not the strongest when you go onto hard tyres because they're just so cold. You might just struggle. You might just lose the back end here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, we'll see. Zerd, I suspect, will be coming in this lap. He might go for another one. Astro Boys, sorry, not Astros, Hypers is 6.4 seconds ahead of Zerd.
He is loving life out there at the minute. He is just cruising. And by cruising, I mean he's flying. He's absolutely giving it everything. And honestly, it must feel like he's just doing time trial at the minute. A slow version of time trial, but time trial nonetheless. And it's working out perfectly for him. I don't think we're going to be seeing him. Oh, here he is coming into the pits. So where is he going to come out in? He's obviously going to come out still ahead of Martin G because the gap was just way too big. Unless his in-lap was so slow.
Zerd's also in. And Coppy's in. So let's see. Brownie will take the race lead for now. Where is Martin G? Martin G's just come around the hairpin. And Zerd hasn't even got to his box yet. Hypers is coming out, strangely enough, well in the lead.
Yeah, Martin G is actually going to resume the position again. Yeah. I think he's actually extended the gap as well. Looking at it, where's Zerd? There he is. Is that Nick Turn managed to do it? No, he's just a bit too far back, but it is closer than we thought earlier. 1.2 seconds. Zerd is only just over a second behind Martin G. So Zerd's in lap was pretty quick, let's be honest. You know, he managed to secure, you know, if you can go break even, that's still a great in lap. He's doing well. He's not yet in the DRS range of his teammate, but if he carries on driving with the pace he did earlier, I think he'll easily be there. So over the end of the next lap.
Yeah, it's gained about half a second on Zerd, and Martin G lost. Oh no, Martin G gained about 2/10 on Hypers. Zerd is pretty much where he was in relation to Martin G before, so Enitone has just put a beastly outlap.
And you know who didn't do a great lap? Copy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a second off. He was just over a second off, but he was a second off of it Nick turn, and now he's 3 seconds off. So something went seriously wrong on his in lap. Obviously, he's only just pitted this lap, so it's no surprise that we're in this top position. However, Zerd is now in DRS of his teammate, is already bringing that gap very close. Holy, the pace he was closing up there onto Martin G was really quick. It's like Martin G just breaks a little bit too early or something, and Zerd's able to capitalize on that. But now, here we go, up on the home straight. This will not be an attack, but this will be him bringing it even closer as Martin G sets the fastest lap.
I'm going to do something that you love to do, and Competence Curse. We've not seen any penalties yet for corner cutting.
Oh, well, we saw one for Rayner, but he'd already left after he'd done that. So that is
and we saw one for the pit lane, which I think was Rayner, wasn't it? The
pit lane was Ray.
Well,
yeah, we haven't actually seen any there.
I didn't even see Rayner's one. I think that was when the crashes were happening.
Apparently Lemon's got one as well for corner cut, and he's got 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a biggie.
It is a biggie. I'm not sure where he got it though. He must have got it so like the hairpin, or not the hairpin as in at the end of the really long back straight, but the long right-hander, the big snaily corner. But look at the gap actually that Zerd has now got on Martin G. We said earlier on the home straight that he's going to be using that DRS to bring himself closer and start sizing Martin G up. Martin G is not one to be too conservative with his ERS. He's currently 43%, and he's going to start to move it up around. There you go, right immediately. Zerd now, though, already in a position. It's a bit too much of a stretch for me on this one. I don't think he's going to attack it on here. But when it comes to the home straight, he might be able to, just because of how much time they'll close up here. But also, he can break so much later than Martin G. He's just able to close that up. And I think, what's that, 4/10 now? 6/10.
He's not breaking that much earlier. I think it's because Martin G's just going so slow through that corner. It looks like he's closing right up. And Brownie's not going hard to softs, he's going hard to mediums. He's coming really early, going on to mediums.
13 laps on the mediums is what he's going to need to do. Martin G's made a mistake here, going through turn 1, just ran a bit wide. That's actually brought Zerd right up into this now. He's actually run wide again on the exit of turn 2. I'm not sure why Zerd didn't look for an opportunity down the inside, but he didn't, and it's currently going to stay like it is right now. Martin G still P2, Zerd P3, but the gap is a lot closer than it has been for a little while, and Nickturn is really starting to fall away a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to see a multi-23 Seb. Are we going to see some of that, you reckon?
No way. Not between these two. These two are very clean, very consistent drivers, and they're good friends. I'd be very surprised if they don't have a little bit of friendly racing. I think it will be a friendship turned sour if there is a bit of a mistake, as you can see further downfield. Brownie is on the back of Gressu now. Gressu's making mistakes, going through the S's. This is going to be Brownie looking for an inside line here. It's going to be a tight one, but he's managed to get through. Is that going to be a mistake? He's done it a bit right before the area where the DRS detection zone is. Gressu's already on the back of him, and now the fact that the gap is just over 2/10, Brownie is not going to have any big contact. Lemon just bushed him.
Was that what I thought it? That's what I thought it looked like. I didn't see it.
Lemon?
I just saw Breezy lose the back end. Then realised Lemon was there.
I think that's going to be Lemon in trouble. So there was contact definitely between Lemon and Gressu. I was on board with Gressu at the time, and then I quickly flicked to Lemon, thinking, well, surely Gressu's been pushed here because there's no other way that his car could rotate like that. And it was Lemon just pushing him out of the way. I don't think Lemon's got damage as a result of it because the contact was so slow. But that was very naughty.
I guess that's one way to get past another driver, isn't it? Just to push him out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's have a look quickly up front, though. Zerd 0.3 off the back of Martin G. Lemon is close to Brownie, but Brownie will just put the hammer down in a moment and go. He is on those mediums. Lemon is on relatively fresh hards, but Brownie's going to have to more grip. And we'll start walking off into sunset shortly.
Oh. My G is having a nightmare right now. I earlier commented on how he was doing such a good job of tire management. Now he's on the hards, he's struggling. You can see the way he's trying to just use the corners and the back end is stepping out. Watch as he starts to accelerate here. Let's see how well he managed to hold on to it this time. But you can see how much he's struggling throughout. He did it quite well there, but he made a fair bit of a mistake earlier on. Here comes Zerd though now. DRS wing wide open, fully using that slipstream to its maximum now. Mountain G's go defensive as we come up to the hairpin. It's going to be a battle for who can break latest. We saw Zerd is doing a much better with that as they go around the outside. Zerd is trying to deliver an exceptional move, and so far it's ahead. Mountain G's on the outside now, and he's getting squeezed to the edge. He's going to have DRS to attack him back here and lead up to turn 1, but that big mistake on the exit means that he lost control and he's going to lose a bit of time, but it's already closing up quite quickly. Here is Mountain G going for an inside move. They're going to go side by side again, but no, it's Zerd managing to secure P2. Martin G will move to P3, but what a battle that was.
Yeah, that could have been another one that could have just ended in tears, going side by side around that hairpin. You've just got to hope your, I would say teammate, but it's really opposition at this point. Gives you a bit of space, otherwise you're just going to clip their back or clip their front and just spin one of the other cars. It's a great respect from those two to just give each other what they needed. And now Martin G has it all to do. He's really low on ERS. Zerd is just sitting pretty on about 72%. So what's Martin G got left? He's just got to sit there for a few laps.
Yeah.
Burn Zerd's off, recover your own.
That is exactly it. That is the strategy when you're in this situation, is just fully manage your ERS levels. You don't necessarily need to push really hard to try and capitalize and push and get past Zerd, because if you're going to do that, as soon as you get past him, you're going to lose it because you're going to have 0 ERS to work with. It is absolutely about breaking Zerd down, using the DRS, using the slipstream, bringing yourself like he is now, mode 3. You should be turning it off round about now, but he's left it on too long. That's kind of these areas. He's just left it on too long, hasn't generated enough ERS now. He's currently sat about 20%. And if you look at Zerd, he's not really lost much at all.
No, Zerd might have just been sitting in 1 or 2 on that straight, knowing Arthur just was nowhere near close enough to catch him up. I'm going to assume these two drivers are in communications with each other.
Yeah,
so they can just say, look, don't come at me, bro. This is my position. You just sit there for now. I mean, it's looking like a 2-horse race for second and third, and it turns just a bit far off at the moment. But all it's going to take is Martin G just to make a few little more mistakes, and the turn might catch up and fancy a shot for third. But I think the top 3 will not change. It might change positions, but it's not going to change who.
No. Something I also keep seeing, if you watch Martin G, he seems to accelerate. Oh, okay. That is... yeah, that's insane. So I thought Bird had heard what I'd said earlier, decided not to go for the softs at all because it's too risky, but no, he's decided to go against it. He started on a peculiar situation, went from the hards to the softs, and now it's costing him now. You're going to see, this is going to be a prime example of what Brownie's setup would have been like had he gone for the one-stop to softs. Let's keep an eye out.
Well, the man that is going hard to the softs is Grezio, actually. He will be going another few laps, I suspect, on those hards. But Bird has also done another stop before this. That's the second stop. Obviously, he picked up some damage on the turn 11 incident on the first lap. That's why he's done a little extra stop more than everyone. But these two alphas are having a little rest of their own, and that's not going to cost anything just yet.
No.
But it might cost a shot at P3 later on.
Well, I mean, his teammate Copy is actually right on the back of him. It's only 7/10 between the two of them, and if you take into account the time penalty, that is, and Copy could very easily change that. But Ed Nickturn is not the kind of guy who would lay down, and just take it. He's easily someone who would put his foot down and really start tearing away. Astro Boy is further downfield. He's in P9. 9 laps in on these hards. He's definitely going to be able to take him to the end now. It's just, what state will it be in when they come to it? Here we are now, going up towards turn 1, as it's going to be Grezio on the inside. Here comes Astro Boy round the outside. He's doing a really solid job of somehow keeping the car glued around him, and he's done it. Astro Boys with the cleanest turn 1 overtake I have seen in such a long time. Absolutely incredible scenes there, and he's on 10 lap old hards. It's not like he's on exceptionally incredibly gripped tires. I mean, yeah, they're much better than Gressy's, but still, that was incredible.
Yeah, Greaser will be coming in probably this lap or next. Put his soft tyres on and see what he can achieve. Obviously, Rick and Ray Ray aren't actually in the race, so as long as they finish the race, they're going to get points based on this. And that's kind of important part, especially if you're going to go onto the softs, you can get that fastest lap, get that extra point as well while you're at it. Be quite nice for some of the lower order to get that extra bonus point. I think Grizu actually had it in the last race, didn't he, from my memory? Even though I wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Just looked.
I'm just keeping a very firm eye locked on these Alfa Romeos. I want to see their ERS levels, and I keep watching Martin G as the modes he keeps flicking into and on the exits of the corners. Zerd is still pretty comfortable on the ERS levels. Martin G is doing a good job of maintaining his ERS levels, but that's with the added benefit of Slipstream and DRS. He's not currently charging it anywhere near enough to be able to attack properly. He keeps flicking it up to mode 3 very quickly. He keeps leaving it in mode 3 too long. And if you watch Zerd will demonstrate to you the difference it can make as Bird sets the fastest lap. I wonder if that's what he was just trying to do.
Well, maybe we'll soon see, won't we? Yeah, 0.7 is the gap between Martin G and Zerd at the moment. Anderson is closing-ish. He's still at 2.8 seconds. I thought he was closing, but he's not. While Hypers could probably do a donut and still have the lead.
Yeah.
8.5 seconds clear as Zerd.
On the exit of the hairpin, just spin the rears, do a full donut, and then take off again and still be sat P1.
Yeah.
I mean, 8.7 seconds is a pretty huge gap, to be truthfully honest. I mean, Zerd is, committed, but his eyes are not really focused on Hypers in any way, shape, or form. His eyes are very firmly locked on his teammate behind him, just trying to work out what he can do differently to try and protect himself. As you can see, Martin G is really closing in here. He's not looking for the overtake just yet. Again, though, he's just trying to maintain the ERS levels and break Zerd down. Although, I have to be critical. Martin G is not doing a good enough job to get Zerd. I think Zerd will beat Martin G across the line, purely based on the fact of how Martin G is just not managing his ERS levels at all.
I suspect you're right. I mean, Martin G's recovered about 10% in 3-4 laps now. Zerd, Zerd's lost 20% in those laps. So there is a chance Martin G might just be saving up everything for that last lap hurrah, knowing how good that back straight is, how hard it is to overtake before the line if you get that move done. It could be a last chance hurrah, couldn't it? Just save everything. Put it in lean, put it in mode 0 where you can, save up everything. So you can put it in rich, coming off this corner, put it into mode 4 or 5, and just get after that man in front of you. But you've got to stay with that man in front of you while doing that.
So like now, for example, he needs to turn the ERS off, but he's left it in mode 3 the entirety of the time. He's now finally turned it off, but he already lost a lot. Big contact there. I thought it was going to be way more than that. I made it sound like it was horrific, but it was gentle. It was a gentle touch. It had the opportunity to be disastrous there. Now that will have played a negative mindset on Martin G, and you can see he's flicking between mode 4 and 3, and he's sort of like starting to get a little bit impatient, start to make a few more mistakes than normal. He's trying to show Zerd that he has the capabilities of beating him and being with him. And he's doing that, but at the same time, he doesn't realize he's actually making a lot hard for himself. And this is the most ERS we've seen on the Martin G for a little while.
Yeah, Zerd's actually gained a fair bit as well. He's up to 57. Martin G's at 43. So still a sizable gap between these two. It's hovering around 20% gap. But I think Zerd has this covered. Mind you, will throw down everything on the last few laps to try and make the pass. I think Zerd is just going to have the answer to whatever he gives. Meanwhile, further back, a little battle going on for P9 between Bird and Grizu as they're coming off the first two corners. That's an easy overtake in the end, or is it?
Yeah, it's not over yet. It's still going to be Grisu defending down the inside. Bird's going to try and do the switch back on him. It's going to be pretty good. There was almost contact between the two of them, but Bird is ahead. They are still side by side though. Grisu's got the inside line. He's going to have to play a little bit smart here. He knows I'm 21 laps in on these hards. And ultimately, he's made a mistake here by not pitting last lap. He should have pit last lap because that's the sort of prime situation for the softs if you're going to go absolutely ham here. And I think that's a big mistake for Gracie there.
Yeah, it looks like it. He kind of wants to stay ahead of Bird, just to give him a chance of getting back past him when he comes to it. He's going to run out of laps to make any moves, but Bird will be doing 10 laps on those softs, and that could just cause him a puncture. He'll be running them quite longer than we probably expected him to. So we'll see how he gets on as the Alphas are coming up to lap an abandoned Rick, I believe.
Is that a Red Bull? I'm not sure. But Martin G is looking good now. This is finally a position where I can say Martin G can now...
Zed's got that.
Yeah, Zed's done really well, but it's like they've spoken to each other and said, look, let's both of us stay in Mode 0 and let's make some really exciting final laps. It's going to be like that. But Martin G needs to try and capitalize on this opportunity. He has been able to generate a lot of ERS now. He's in a position where he can get an extremely good exit. He's got it. He's already bringing in Zerd before we even get to a point where he needs to use DRS. He has the opportunity now. There, he learned now. He's learned. That is exactly what he needed to do earlier on when he was struggling for the pace with the ERS levels earlier. It's Ray that's ahead of him, and my G might be able to take P2 from Zed.
Yeah, the only difference is there's 30% difference between these two ERSs now. And that is quite sizable. So let's have a look once they come out of turn 4 what percentages they're on. But Zerd's actually banging on the 100 door at the moment. That's how much ERS he has. I don't think they're in communications. I think Zerd is saving everything he can. Because he's at 100% in Mode 0. Master G's at 57%.
Yeah.
And actually had to flick it up to Mode 2 for a little bit there. I think Zerd has this covered now.
Yeah, it's either they're communicating and saying to each other, let's just manage our ERS levels for now. We don't need to worry about anything else. Let's just get to the end of this race. Let's have some fun. Or Zerd has been reading Martin G for a few laps, understanding where he struggles the most, capitalizing on that, and not really needing to use ERS. But he just sat in Mode 0 throughout the entirety of that whole area there, which tells me that Zerd is not reading the situation. They are in communication, and we'll see. Alright, here we go. Martin G, Mode 5, looking for the overtake on Zerd. Zerd's still in Mode 0, has tons of ERS to use, does have DRS, but look at how much now Martin G, he's backed off. He's not attacking. They are in communication. I can confirm they are in communication.
Can you officially confirm, or do you suspect they are?
No, I know. That you don't do that unless you're talking.
Unless you realise there's only a few laps left, you better sit behind and wait for the last lap.
No. With the amount of ERS that Martin G had, if they're not talking, Martin G would feel pretty confident. Because it should be of the mindset, well, I'm right here on the back of Zed. Zed must be feeling the pressure. Zed must be using ERS, which we know is not the case. But as a driver on the track, you have no idea what ERS levels your teammate is using unless you're talking. And that means that, he could have easily just blitzed past Zerd and then just decided to pull away. But no, he decided to stay behind, and that tells me that I think they're going to finish the race like this, and I think they're going to choose to do that.
Yeah, I kind of think you're right. It's a bit boring, but considering Zerd went that entire back straight in Mode 0 while Master G was DRS and on his arse, just sort of says that he had no worries. Once he wanted to come past, he would have. If Zerd didn't want him to come past, he would have flicked it into Mode 3 or 4. Let's have a look here. Zerd now is starting to deploy some. but because Martin G's so far away now.
I think they've said, right, let's race. I think they've said, let's race now. Because Zerd turned it up, Martin G turned it up, he says, I can't take you here, so I'm going to just put it in conservative mode. I think now we're going to be seeing some racing action. As you can look how close Martin G is to the back of Zerd. Last time we saw that earlier, he didn't try. He's already in mode 5. As we come around the final corner, Zerd in trouble now with the DRS wing wide open as of this. Here is going to be mode 4. Yes, he's going for it. Finally, we're going to see some action. If Martin G backs out, I'm going to be very disappointed, but he's not. He's going down for the inside in towards turn 1. Zerd's going to be trying to defend him round the outside. This is not the area you want to try and defend unless you could stay alongside the entirety of it. Martin G has got nose ahead, but Zerd is going to have the inside line again through the left-hander. And now it's going to be Martin G gets squeezed all the way to the outside. Almost gets on the grass. Zerd holds on. What a scrap. We might see more of that as we come through the remainder of the track.
Taking it easy, are they? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Well, they were earlier. It was very visible, and now they're not.
I'm gonna put my attention back to 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
The man I predicted to have a good result is looking like he could have a good result. He's closing up onto the back of Brownie. He's on mediums, but they are probably going to be feeling like the guys in front tards, rather worn by this point. I think actually Bird's done another pit stop as well. Interesting.
I think Bird's going for our fastest lap because obviously if you P9, you know you come out. You had a free pit stop anyway. Gristy you had to pit and went far behind. So Bird was feeling pretty cozy. Could easily go for another fastest lap. Don't blame him for trying at all. But yeah, nothing more than that. Here is Brownie. There is a battle going on further up. My G is closing in. Actually quite quickly onto the back of Zerd, but that's not going to change just yet. Let's go back to Brownie as he's just going to slingshot past Copy, knowing he has DRS. Copy's not really trying to get anything more than that. No inside line. Brownie's round wide. Here comes Copy back through again, and he's done it. Copy manages to recover the position, but Brownie's actually still alongside of him. Brownie's going to have the inside through the final corner. Copy has to back out and let it through. And there's a change of position for B2 and 3. 2 and 3 as Zerd is scrapping with Martin G. He's on the inside again. Martin G can't do what Zerd did because... Oh, there's a bit of nudging. Is that damage? I didn't see any wing fly off. No. I don't think it is. They're still good. They're still pushing. And it's still scrapping further on for P5 and 6.
I was watching that. He's just going down the inside into 5. 6, sorry, a little bit of contact, didn't go for it. Zerd comes across defensive. I think Martin G's going to sit here for now until we get back onto home straight. What about Copy and Brownie? Brownie is through. He's going to make this one last, though. It's still starting to kick off.
Yeah.
We've got this and another lap to go. And people have just said, right, racing time.
Yep, the F1 gods are gracing us with some very, very sweet F1 wheel-to-wheel action, and we're about to get exactly that and more. As we can see, Zerd is lining himself up for a good exit coming out of the long right-hander. Bird sets the fastest lap time there with a 1:33.064, so it's looking like he's going to get 3 points at the end of this race if he can hold it. Zerd knows, I have to hold the inside, runs a bit too close to the inside, gets on the grass. That's going to slow him just enough now for Martin G to get the slingshot and bullet on past him. Here he is now trying to keep this line protected. A little bit of move in there under braking, but nothing too tragic. Didn't actually affect Zerd at all, but Martin G is ahead. He's now up into P2 and it's down to Zerd as we are on the final lap. As Hypers cross the line first, it's Martin G who's now got to really hold everything together. Cannot afford to make a mistake, and Zerd is going to punish him if the second that he does.
Was this a lap too early? Or did he just go, look, I have to take this opportunity now and I might not get it again? He might lose it next time around. And that's what I said. I think they were waiting until the last few laps to make everything happen, save out what they could. Have they got any fuel? Is anyone on red of these two? Yes, Martin G's on red with very low ERS. Zerd hasn't even got red fuel and has 46% ERS. I think this is Zerd's.
I mean, Martin G could go mode 0 from this moment forward, right up until the DRS line. And he should. He should be in mode 0 right now. Just holding Zerd back. Zerd knows this is a very difficult area to do an overtake in because of how much you need to be on it from an aerodynamics side of thing. So, you know...
It's these 3 corners. These will make or break it. One mistake here from either of these two and they could lose it. Little lockout there from Zerd. Martin G sliding. Zerd has...
Ren.
What was Zerd was going to have in there?
There's rain.
Oh, you're right. Well,
it's very minor. It's very minor, but it might affect when it comes into the braking zone at the end of this straight. Here is Martin G trying to protect him, trying to shake the slipstream. Nothing more is going to come out of this now. It's going to be all down to Zerd to make sure that the braking zone is as clean as possible. Martin G is going to go around the outside. This is going to be so tense. It's going to be so tight. As you can see, Zerd puts Martin G right off onto the curb. Zerd will cross the line and finish second as Hypers has come across first. Very well done there, Martin G.
Fifth and sixth. Copy got past Brownie on that back straight. Brownie's back ahead. Coming into the final corner. Brownie has it. Is Copy going to have a little chance at him? No, he's not. Brownie takes it back off him in the braking zone. Great drive from those two on the final lap as well.
Yeah.
And action stations all around there for the last few laps.
Brilliant. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was really... I mean, we had a little bit of a stagnant period, but then it was really spiced up. The rain came in. Didn't really force the drivers to do anything more than just carry on driving, but it really started to give us a lot of enticing action throughout when we saw Zerd and Martin G going toe-to-toe for the final few laps, and then Brownie and Copy just added that little cherry to the top of the cake, and it made it extra sweet, extra special. And now we're just waiting for the final two cars to come across the line. Bird, who has got the fastest lap overall with a 1:33.064, only driver actually to get into the 1:33s.
It's not over yet. Bird won't be going faster. He's doing a donut.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if he broke his wheel there?
Or gets black flags?
Oh, he saw him coming on the radar. I was like, no. They're running away. So Gressu,
no.
Oh, Gressu crossing line in style. But yeah, Bird takes 9th place, gets the fastest lap as well. So will take an extra point to go with it. And Gressu, he's going to feel a little bit cheated after that incident earlier with Lemon. He was in a good place, starting to really commit and show his pace. And then it was all snatched away from him in one swift move.
Well, what's done is done. I noticed we didn't actually do race predictions there, but I think those top three would have been the three we put there. Maybe not in that order, though.
No. I mean, I would have said Martin G in front of Zerd, and I think it came down to the small mechanics of a driver, of being able to manage your ERS levels quite considerably, and Martin G just couldn't do it as good as Zerd did. I think the pace levels, they were pretty much the same overall. Nothing further to sort of talk about on that respect, but when it comes down to those just minor changes, it does make a world of difference, and it did make a world of difference, and Zerd crosses the line in P2. So here is the race rundown, as Hypers wins the race 3 times in a row now, so he's already up to a very solid 75 points. Zerd crosses the line and takes 2nd. Martin G will finish off the podium spot in nice 3rd place. And Nick then takes 4th with a 3-second time penalty. No positions lost or gained as a result. Brownie takes 5th with Copy in 6th. Lemon takes 7th. Astro Boys takes 8th with Bird taking 9th and the fastest lap. And Gressu rounds out the top 10. And then the only other drivers that are actually still on track, although not really them, was Rick and Ray, who both left. And then we had Rayner, Return, and I7. They were the DNFers of this Grand Prix. So that is it from us here in the World Championship Racing League. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for you. I'm Ben Rager McConnell, and joining me has been Jamie M. Casa Elder. Thank you so much, dude. It's an absolute pleasure, as always, to commentate with you. But we'll see you guys next week when we're back for Baku. And that is going to be an exciting race.